wanted to talk to you guys about today is actually a solution that we built on top of AllJoyn. So you heard a lot about AllJoyn in the house. I want to talk to you guys about whole home audio. So you see a lot of speakers in this room. That's because Qualcomm AllPlay is a audio solution that allows you to take speakers from different manufacturers and allow them to synchronize the music together. So if you have speakers from 3, 4 different manufacturers and they have AllPlay, then you can synchronize the music. So AllPlay is 1 part hardware, 2 parts software. It's a little bit different from AllJoyn, where AllJoyn is just software that's open source and available at the All-Scene Alliance website. This starts with hardware, because when you want to do really good audio synchronization between speakers and it's wireless, you have to have really good Wi-Fi. So the Qualcomm Smart Audio Module has a Qualcomm Atheros Wi-Fi chipset on it. It's got some memory, it's got some I/O ports, and it's got AllPlay firmware. Every one of these speakers and that adapter back in the corner has the Smart Audio Module. So 1 part hardware and then 2 parts of software. On the software side, we provide our OEMs who build speakers with a controller SDK so that they can build an application that controls the speakers and give it to their end users. They can do that, they can build an app from scratch, or they can take our reference implementation called the Jukebox app, and they can skin it. So what I want to show you guys here is how that works. So here you see 3 speakers in the house. Okay. Now the way that those speakers showed up in this app is because we use AllJoyn in AllPlay to do the discovery of the speakers. We use it to discover the devices. On the other side of it, we also use AllJoyn to do the communication between the speakers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point these 3 out to you. That's a sound wall. That's actually a speaker, not just artwork. Behind you guys is a small speaker that's black. That's from Lenco. And then the other speaker that's here is that Panasonic adapter. That's just connected to a regular set of speakers. If you had a home hi-fi system and you had multiple speakers connected to a receiver, you would just plug that Panasonic adapter right into the receiver, and now you can receive wireless music on that home hi-fi system. So all 3 show up here. I'm going to play some music to the sound wall. I'm going to select music on this device or music on the network. So on the device, I'm going to select a song. I'm going to play it. Turn down the volume for you guys a little bit so you can hear it coming from the sound wall. And then what I want to do now is I want to synchronize the audio to the other speakers. So again, remember, 3 different manufacturers. None of them work together. They all did their own integrations of AllPlay. So here we go. Click on sound wall. I'm going to click the group button, and then I'm going to group them together. So now it should be playing behind you. It should be playing next to you. I can control the volume individually, all together. So that's 1 part of the software, the AllPlay controller and the jukebox. But that is just for local music, right? Local music I have on my home network, local music that I have on my device. And unfortunately, people are not buying as much music as they used to. They're really turning to music streaming services. So that's the second part of our software. We've created something called the AllPlay Click SDK, and we have worked with a number of music streaming services to implement it. So this is one of them. This is Rhapsody. They're quite large in the US. And you see that button there? That is our AllPlay button. The Click SDK is a couple lines of code for the developer to put that button somewhere in the UI of their app. And then once you click on that button, it invokes the AllPlay library. So I'm going to click on it. You would only see it if there are AllPlay speakers nearby, and then you get the speaker list again. So the speakers are grouped, but let's ungroup them. I could play out to the group list. I just want you to show you that the functionality is very similar. And I'm going to pick that Lenco speaker in that corner. So I pick Lenco. Let's make sure I did that. I'm going to play music to it. Playing in the back. Same thing, I click on the button, I can control the volume. Very, very simple application with a very simple UI. But that app The Click SDK keeps you inside of Rhapsody's app. That means now if you have some visual ads, you're seeing them. Second thing is, that music is not streaming to this handset. It is streaming directly to that speaker. Let me turn that off. It's streaming directly to that speaker. That means I can leave the house with my handset and the music will continue to play. It also means that I'm not losing quality in my audio. Because if that music was streaming to the handset and then streaming to the speaker, you lose a little bit of data along the way. So you really want your music to come directly to the place that it's rendered. And that's what we're doing with the Click SDK. So that's AllPlay. I told you it has AllJoyn in it, so of course it can't just do music, it has to do more. So let me show you. This is another AllPlay speaker. It's from a company called Medion. This is another AllJoyn enabled TV. There's another August Smart door lock back there. And then of course you guys have seen a couple variations of these LifeX light bulbs. This you haven't seen. This is from a company called Birdie. The product itself is also called Birdie. It's a smart air monitor. And what that air monitor does is it measures the air in your environment and gives you some information about it. You know, how many carbon particles are in the environment. It's also a carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide detector. It tells you the humidity in your home, the temperature, and then, of course, it looks like a smoke detector, and it is one. So I'm going to simulate a fire or some smoke in your home, and then you're going to see these devices react. So, liquid smoke in a can.
Liquid fire.
Liquid fire. A lot of cigarettes were smoked to get this can.
Yeah.
So a couple things happened. Birdie also supports AllJoyn, and Birdie did two things. Birdie sent out a notification. That notification here was a graphic. It's probably going to go up again. It's a graphic, and this TV can display that graphic because it supports the AllJoyn notification service. So it said smoke detected in a fire, leave the house. It probably shouldn't say more, it should just say leave the house, stop reading. And then the speaker up here also supports AllJoyn notifications, but it can't render text and it can't render graphics. It can render audio. Birdie sent out an audio object in that notification, and so what the speaker did was it went and fetched the object and it rendered it. In this case, it was a smoke alarm sound, right? Or an alarm sound. It had no idea that there was a fire, that there was smoke in the house. It just played out what Birdie sent. Second thing that Birdie did was it generated an urgent alarm event. And so the August door lock opened up. That's how it reacted. And then the lights you saw changed some colors. They went from red, orange, yellow. So if you were hearing impaired, that might be the only indication you have if you can't smell the smoke that you need to leave your house.